My name's Andrew Batchelder. The kids call me and the teachers call me and parents call me Mr. B. I'm the principal of Wheeler School. I've been here 9 years as principal. I very much love our school. Our school community is fabulous, and we're very fortunate today to have local food groups in the food industry come to our school or bring foods to our school from various places. Like the kids are experimenting with kale today and eating this delicious kale out of a cup. I guess our food service director, Ashley Carl, had taken the kale and she massaged it really nicely and put it in some Italian dressing and with a little bit of fruit on top of it, and it was delicious. And surprisingly, our kids in grades K1, 2, 3, and 4, some have actually liked it.
My name is Melissa DeMoro. I've been at Wheeler for a little over 5 years, and I am a cafeteria service food worker.
I'm Tina Ross. I've been here for 9 years, in the school system for 10. And I am the kitchen manager. Yeah, I walked around and I talked to some of the students, and I'm really pleasantly surprised at how many of them wanted to try it and how many of them like it. So it's exciting.
A lot of students didn't know what kale was or have never tried it, so that was exciting to see that a lot of the students really liked it. And it's probably my favorite part is getting to see and introduce students to vegetables that they have never necessarily had or might not be exposed to, and now we can start menuing it on our menu.
So I tried some kale today and it was actually really good. I loved it, and I usually don't try new foods, but this new food was actually really good.
As Director of Business and Operations, I think school meals is incredibly important. I don't get into the classrooms, I don't have much to do with curriculum, but I do have a lot to do with the things that make kids prepared for learning. And food is the #1 thing that prepares kids for learning. Hungry kids can't learn. We believe that creating good habits and healthy habits at a young age will have lifelong benefits. And if kids don't learn to like and eat vegetables at this age, they'll probably never learn.
I like school lunch because sometimes I don't normally get home lunch. I have to ask to get it, and sometimes when I get hot lunch, I am thankful that I get it.
Well, they might not always have an opportunity at home to have a hot meal, so it gives us an opportunity and gratitude to be able to provide them a hot meal. It is free this year, which also is a huge help to a lot of families, especially with the inflation. And it's just one less thing that the parents and kids have to worry about. It makes us feel good.
Now we're very fortunate in the state of Connecticut to have our school lunches for free of cost for all of our children. In a community like Plainville, we have roughly 30% of our students are from lower socioeconomic status, and they need a school lunch every day. So I think it's critical for that reason.
They do like eating the food here, and we have a great food service director, Ashley Carl, and she makes sure that the menus are, really geared towards the elementary kids. There's a different menu for each level of education.
I believe that farm to school is incredibly important because we have we're providing local food that students can, whether they're visiting the farm with their families, whether it's on a field trip, they can see the farm that the food's being grown at, but also we're giving back to our local economy. We're purchasing from local farms, and we can build these relationships and really highlight what they're doing and really support our local farms. And I think that's incredibly important. Being a local food service department, why not highlight what's in season? It lasts longer, it takes less travel time to get here, and I think it's so important for our students to be exposed to local foods.
We're Plainville Community Schools. The word community is in our name, and we look to develop those kinds of relationships with all of our vendors. If we could buy locally from a local vendor, we want to do it because it puts money back in the economy. Taxpayers support us, and so we are always looking for those kinds of things, especially for food. Pressure, it ties into our program. Kids can see where it comes from, so there's all kinds of educational benefits as well as economic benefits.
When it's grown locally by local people or farmers or things, it has a lot more nutrients than all the other foods. So when you eat that, you get a lot more nutrients than all the other foods that you buy in stores.
Hi, I'm Sania Lawson. I'm a senior at New London High School. At our school, our classes are like an hour and a half, and by like this time, we're like very drained and very tired from having our 2 classes. So lunch is kind of like our refuel. Sit and chat with our friends that we don't have classes with, and then go back and finish the day. Usually I have dance, and dance is very draining, and we're preparing for a show. So fueling up, drinking water, and like mentally preparing myself for the next class, for the next 2 classes, this is when I use my lunchtime. It's just, socialize, get all like my frustrations out, and then go kill the rest of the day.
We have about 900 students here, and we serve breakfast, lunch, and then a supper at the end of the day as well. All of those options. We have hot meals, cold meals, grab and go options.
In New London, all of our students eat for free through the community eligibility provision, and what that means is our students are eligible to receive a no-cost breakfast, a no-cost lunch, and then we also participate in the supper program. So we're able to provide our students with 3 solid meals a day. Those meals start at breakfast, and we're able to offer a hot breakfast that we serve grab and go so kids can take it with them to the classroom, and then they come through and they're able to get a variety of options at lunchtime. They're able to get our hot meal of the day, they can get sandwiches, fresh made salad bar, all those kinds of options, and then they're also able to get those same types of options available to them at supper time. So our goal is to fill any type of gap that they may have in their day with food for breakfast, lunch, and supper.
You just kind of have to stand in the lobby in the morning, and you'll see students, the first thing they do is they're greeted by our CAF staff, and they're given some pretty amazing breakfast, and they depend on it and they can count on it. So it's, to them, you can see the importance as soon as you walk in the building.
Something that we hear a lot from our students is that they just appreciate not having to worry about bringing in food. That's one less thing that they can focus on, so that they can focus on school, they can focus on their friends, they can focus on everything else other than food. And so, this has been a real benefit for families in New London, and we hope to see it be a benefit in other towns.
Super expensive to grocery shop, and for me, I make my lunches at home for the kids, and it can be really daunting some mornings of well, what do I make? I can't make something hot because they're gonna eat it in 6 hours, but they also don't want these sandwiches all the time either. So having that option at school where you can walk in, you can have a fresh pasta or a pizza or a side salad with the rest of your meal, or fruit or vegetables, it's super important.
But there's a lot of stories that come behind kids not eating and kids not being able to afford. One in particular would be kids coming to school when I used to be at SRO with Monopoly money, hoping that they can use that money because their parent told them they couldn't have real money because they couldn't afford to have that. And how some of the school staff, it was cute seeing the child come to school with that, but it's a serious issue where a kid comes and asks if they can trade that money for something to eat. And though New London does a really great job trying to fill that void, it is still something that kids worry about, because kids say, well, I can't eat nothing because if I eat something, then my mom gets upset or my dad gets upset when I get home, and tell them, because now they feel like they're going to have a bill waiting in order for them to eat, and kids sharing their food with other kids that they know can't afford it. The best friend, you're my best friend, I can share everything with you. And some kids give up their meals just for their friends that can eat.
School is a place that we should be setting this premier, perfect environment for them. And what that means is having a place that they can be well educated, that they can feel safe, that they can feel nurtured, and part of that is through the food that we serve.
I think school lunch is important because it gets you through the day, keeps you fed. If you need a quick way to wake yourself up during class, school lunch gets you awake, gets you moving, gets the carbs that you need for your brain to function properly and your body to maintain you in class. And I just think it's important to have that energy to be able to go through the entire day, especially since most of us aren't used to a new schedule that we've been shown to this year, which is a block period schedule. I think school lunch plays a big role in keeping us energized throughout the day.
The money that we have in the budget enables us the ability to not only focus on good quality meals, but it helps us with our other priorities. It helps us with reaching out to farmers to bring in some local produce. It also helps us with our recipe development and able to do scratch cooking. Something else that, more money in the program through this initiative also means that there's more money going into our local economy. So there's more money for local labor. If you are starting to produce more food, then you need more staff, and those are typically families from New London and people who already live here. It's also more money is going into our local economy through grocery purchases and food purchases. So we can reach out to local farms right down the road and purchase their product that we can serve in our program.
My name is State Rep Nolan, as you know. Some of you know me by Officer Nolan. But we're here because of the importance of some of the school lunches, the school lunch system, especially here in New London, though we're speaking in regards to the whole state of how important school lunch is to you. And so someone want to explain how school lunch is important?
It's important to have a school lunch in between your day. Obviously, a lot of us aren't built or used to this. What we have is a block schedule in as our curriculum. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a good pickup, as she said, to kind of get you throughout the rest of the day, to energize you, give you the carbs and energy that your brain needs and your body needs to function properly. So I think school lunch is important because it keeps you going throughout the day. And in some ways, that may be the only meal somebody may eat that day. So I think it's important.
A question for you, because you've been here for several years. So how have you seen the progress of food getting worse or better for the school?
It's, in my opinion, gotten a lot better. I say a lot more healthier. There's less options now. From a couple years ago when I was in 4th grade, they're offering nuggets and not chicken patties, but patties and stuff like that. Now there's a lot less fried food. It's more whole and more focused on energizing you health-wise. So I'd say it's gotten a lot better, both when it comes to health and flavor.
Yeah, okay. I agree.
So I'd say it's gotten a lot better.
What can you share? What things that you like the most? If there are some things you like the most, other than
to eat,
or even to see that other kids are enjoying.
That chicken, they be tearing the chicken down with that fried rice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they be tearing that down. The quesadillas too.
About the importance of having something to eat when you come to school and not having to worry about paying for it.
I think that's great because this community has a lot of low-income students. And it's very important to eat throughout the day, especially when you're at school, because you don't want to starve and then go home and just massively eat, because that will make you sick.
Yeah. Could you explain if there's any cafeteria heroes that you might like here that have actually went up and beyond in regards to, you enjoying the aspect of lunch?
Okay, so I met this lady. Her name is Stephanie. I call her my bestie. She's the one that does the deli with the sandwiches and the wraps and stuff. I met her, I think, last year, second semester. I think she started. I remember they just told us on an email that we were getting a deli bar, and I was like, oh, okay, let's see what this is about. And I walked up there and I told her what I wanted. And then from that day on, she just remembers what I want. I just have to say, hi, bestie. And she's like, how's school going? Or when's prom? She's kind of like the person I want to see the most. And she knows that I'm not here because she's like, where have you been at, bestie? Okay. She's someone I'm definitely like seeing their face or seeing her face.
You've been able to build a relationship with someone in the lunch.
Chef Alex, he's awesome. Sometimes we talk all the time. Anytime I get an opportunity to say hi to him, I always shout out the entire staff, really, because at the end of the day, they're putting their energy in to feed us.